porn is destroying your self-image and you don't even realize that it's happening. If you don't know me, my name is Krishna, and I help young men quit their porn addictions by teaching the lessons that I personally learned throughout my journey. And so I only ever realized this after I quit porn. So after I fully quit my porn addiction, which was around 3 years ago, I finally realized how much it affected my self-image. Right? Because previously I was watching porn once, twice a day, and just watching the most disgusting videos you've ever seen in your entire life. I would be on like 4chan and all these websites. And the first thing that I'll say when it comes to this is that porn subconsciously, it puts you in this bystander cuck mindset, basically. Because think about it. You're watching another dude have sex with the woman that you want to have sex with. Right. You're basically watching that. And so I remember when I used to watch porn, I knew that even subconsciously that I would never be with a woman like that. And so many, many years ago, I used to watch that content, right? I used to load up Pornhub, have it on my phone, and I remember watching that content and replacing the man in the video with me. And I'd imagine having sex with this woman, right? And so it subconsciously, it puts you in that sort of cuck mindset, that bystander mindset. Makes you think you're winning, but you're not. And so it not only kills that, but the second point about this is that it kills your ambition as well. Because after you watch porn, how do you feel? Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you feel the shame and the guilt that comes with it, but also very, very tired. And when you are very tired, when you are just kind of hanging out there, just like laying on your bed, you don't want to do anything else. You don't want to do anything, right? You just want to sit there, just lay in bed. You're tired, you want to take a nap or something like that. There's no drive, there's no ambition for anything. And so it's very interesting that when I finally quit porn, I was able to make so much more progress in the gym. I would make so much more progress in the sport that I was doing, in my schoolwork. Why? Because I suddenly gained so much of just this energy back that I was just releasing every single day, multiple times a day, when I was watching it, when I was watching porn, right? Because I had a different self-image about who I was. And even thinking about this from an evolutionary psychology perspective, what is the number one reason? What is one of the greatest drives that men have? Well, it's to reproduce. It's to pass on their genes, right? Because literally the bloodline will die with you if you don't do that. And so when you do ejaculate, let's say, the reason you feel tired is because your body is telling you, hey, you fulfilled basically one of the main objectives of your life. Let's pump him full of cortisol and stuff like that. Let's not cortisol, right? Let's pump him full of prolactin and stuff like that. Let's make him tired, right? That he can rest and recharge and hopefully do it again. And so the third idea is something that affects your self-image, which is just NoFap as well. Because the whole concept of NoFap makes you say, oh, I'm quitting, right? I'm working on it. I really struggle with this thing. I keep doing this, I keep doing that. Saying those things, saying, oh, I'm quitting porn, right? I'm trying to quit, I'm working on it. I would say that they're a good half step in the right direction. But I don't think they actually accomplish anything. Because if you want to be a different person, then you have to behave a different way, right? And if you want to behave a different way, then what do you have to do? Well, I think the prerequisite to that is having a different self-image, is having a different view of who you are. And so the phrase, fake it till you make it, that actually kind of has some truth behind it. And a classic example of this is when you go to bed at night, right? When you sleep. You need to pretend to be asleep first before actually falling asleep, right? You sit there, you close your eyes, you act unconscious. And then what happens? You just become unconscious and you go to sleep. And so I think the same thing applies to this. If you want to become the version of you who isn't addicted to porn, there's a different language there, right? I'm quitting. I'm struggling with this. I'm working on it. Versus, I don't do it. It's not part of who I am. I don't do this thing. And so the action step that I would write down for you, or that I would give you, is to write down all of the aspects, all the characteristics, and all the behaviors of the person that you want to be, that higher version of yourself. What does he do? How is his mindset? How does he look, for example, right? What are his values? And once you write down those things, once you write down the aspects, physically, financially, whatever, right? Mentally, the characteristics, what are his values? What are his morals? And the behaviors, what does he do, right? I want you to just take just one small action to becoming that type of person, right? So that could be going to the gym, that could be meditating, that could be reading a book, that could be doing your homework, that could be playing a sport, playing an instrument, whatever that thing is for you, that gets you closer to the person that you want to be. That gets you closer to the future version of you, the version of you in the future, the higher version of you. Because when you start, even if you aren't that person right now, if you start to act that person, you will start to become that person. You will become that person. If this video helped you and you want to go more in depth into the actual protocol and the science and the mindset and sort of the philosophy of how to actually quit porn and become the person that you want to be, I have a program. It's 5 phases that you can go through, all in order, everything laid out for you that you can just follow. And if you're interested in that, then you can go and you can click the link in the description down below. Take care, brother.